So you like mangoes, huh?
Well, I sure hope so, because they make up about half of this recipe. Today, we will be making these crumbly mango bars. We're going to start by going over our ingredients after preheating our oven to 350 degrees. You will need about 2.5 cups of ripe mangoes. Don't be worried if they're not exactly 2.5 cups. 3 tablespoons of granulated white sugar, a half tablespoon of cornstarch, 2 cups of all-purpose flour, a half teaspoon of baking powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 3/4 of a cup of cold unsalted butter, emphasis on the cold, 2/3 a cup of brown sugar, 1 large egg, and lastly a half teaspoon of vanilla extract. Next, we are going to cut our mangoes into small bite-sized chunks and then add them to a bowl. Then we will add the sugar and cornstarch to our mangoes. If your mangoes are not quite ripe enough yet, you can add a couple extra tablespoons of sugar to them to kind of falsely make them sweeter, but I highly recommend waiting until the mangoes are ripe. Once you add the mangoes, sugar, and cornstarch together, mix them until well combined and the sugar and cornstarch is no longer recognizable. It should look something like this. Then you can set this bowl to the side and we can move on to our crumble mixture. In a large bowl, you will combine your flour, baking soda, and salt and give it a quick mix to combine. Once these dry ingredients are mixed together well, take your butter out of the fridge and cut it into small chunks about a ½ inch each way. Then add your cubed butter and flour mixture into a food processor and pulse it until small crumbs are formed. It should look something like this when it's done. We want it to be very, very crumbly. This is how it's supposed to look. Next, in a small bowl, you're going to mix your brown sugar, eggs, and vanilla extract until well combined, and then add the wet mixture to your flour and butter mixture. Fold these two together until you get a well combined crumble. Next, take your 8x8 baking pan and either lay down a layer of parchment paper like me, or you can grease the bottom of the pan to prevent sticking after it's done baking. Now, take approximately 2/3 of your crumble mixture and press it into the bottom of the pan. You want to pack this down as tightly as possible, making sure to get into all the corners and the nooks and crannies, otherwise your bars are going to just kind of fall apart when you take it out of the pan. Once your crumble mixture is packed well into the bottom, you're going to take your mango mixture and add it on top of the crumble layer and try to cover the surface completely. Lastly, take the remaining crumble mixture and crumble it on top of the mango layer like so. Now the hard work is done, we can put our pan into our preheated oven for 35 to 40 minutes and wait. 35 minutes later, remove your pan from the oven and let it cool at room temperature for 15 to 20 minutes. We want to let the sugars kind of rest and just kind of let the mango layer gelatinize a little bit, otherwise all the good stuff is going to be falling out the sides. Once cooled, cut your tray into 9 even pieces and give them a taste.
Just stop watching the video. You gotta go make these right now.